series, I will be looking at certain subtleties and nuances in the texts. By researching them and by investigating them, I've made some discoveries within them. These gems, these hidden gems within those texts are very valuable. And that's why I'm sharing them with you in a series of videos. Hopefully this will continue going forward. Now, the process of making these discoveries is a process of irfan, which is an Arabic word used to describe true knowledge, recognition, awareness. What is required to be successful in such a path is selflessness and detachment and independent investigation, which means that one must see with one's own eyes and not with the eyes of others, and to hear with one's own ears and not with the ears of others, and to understand with one's own mind and not with the mind of others. This path, the path of recognition, leads from lower stages or states, such as faith and trust, to higher stages and states, higher levels, such as certitude, certainty, assurance. That is the realm where truths and facts and realities are found. And so I'm just one person among many following this path, and I've made certain discoveries within those subtleties of the texts that I would like to share with you. So the one I'm going to focus on today is the correlation that I found in the Kitab-i-Aqdas, paragraph 80, to a hymn of the Eucharist, the Last Supper of Jesus. This hymn is sung by Arab Christians in Egypt or in Syria, and this correlation links that text not by a third party but by Bahaullah himself, in such a way that Bahaullah implies by doing so that the Last Supper itself was symbolic or a foreshadowing or an allusion to the revelation of Baha'u'llah in this day. This is really astounding, very, very astounding discovery here. And this isn't the only place where Baha'u'llah does this. He does this many, many places throughout his writings. So let me read the text of the 80th paragraph of the Kitab-i-Aqdas, and then I will break it down into its components to show that linkage or correlation to the hymn. This is the day in which he who held converse with God hath attained the light of the Ancient of Days, and quaffed the pure waters of reunion from this cup that hath caused the seas to swell. Say by the one true God, Sinai is circling round the dayspring of revelation, while from the heights of the kingdom the voice of the Spirit of God is heard proclaiming, Bestir yourselves, ye proud ones of the earth, and hasten ye unto him. So here is the same text broken down into its subcomponents. This is the day. Here, the day of Baha'u'llah is referred to, in which he who held converse with God. Now, this title, he who held converse with God, is the title of Moses, hath attained the light of the Ancient of Days. Now here we're alluding to when Moses went up to the mountain, Mount Sinai, and beheld the burning bush. He beheld the light of God. Hath attained the light of the Ancient of Days. And here Baha'u'llah is making an allusion to Baha'u'llah, which means the light of God. And quaffed the pure waters of reunion from the cup. And this cup that Moses had quaffed from was the cup of the revelation of Baha'u'llah that he handed to Moses, that hath caused the seas to swell. As we know, the words of God are inexhaustible. And there's a saying that says, if all the seas were ink and all the pens were trees, the word of God would not be exhausted. So here, that cup, the wine within that cup causes the seas to swell. And it continues, say by the one true God, Sinai is circling around the Dayspring of revelation. Now Sinai here again is Mount Sinai. And what is it circling around? The Dayspring of revelation, which is the title of Baha'u'llah. While from the heights of the kingdom, notice here the heights of the kingdom, this is where Jesus had ascended to heaven. So he's now up in heaven in the kingdom. He's making an announcement from those heights. And from the heights of the kingdom, the voice of the Spirit of God. Here the Spirit of God is the voice of Jesus, the title of Jesus. The voice of the Spirit of God is heard proclaiming, bestir yourselves, ye proud ones of the earth, and hasten ye unto him. Now, by just reading this text, it's not immediately obvious that the phrase, bestir yourselves and hasten ye unto him, is in fact that same phrase used in that Christian hymn that I mentioned, which says, bestir yourselves and haste ye unto the supper of God, the Last Supper here. Bestir yourselves and haste ye unto the supper of God. So that phrase in the Arabic is very clear. It's the exact same phrase, bestir yourselves and haste ye unto him. So putting all this together, the subtle point that the text is making, the subtle point that Baha'u'llah is making, is that the Last Supper was an illusion, itself was an illusion to the revelation of Baha'u'llah on this day.